All right, everybody, we are taking you out live to Los Angeles, where you are seeing the end of a chase. We believe that's what's going on here. Let's listen in.
Some sort of domestic situation. This officer is pushing away. This is some large-scale domestic situation. Friends and family have shown up, obviously, and we're trying to intervene. And officers are just trying to keep everybody safely away to make sure the kid is okay, and the kid appears to be okay, and the suspect is taken into custody. Which let's go back to the suspect. There's a woman in the intersection there, very angry, agitated as well. And
so
this is another person. This is an individual who was just detained by officers. Another woman. That was not. I believe that was not the suspect.
This is, by the way, is on Avalon and 43rd Street.
Okay, they got the beanbag out right now. They got the beanbag gun out. This is getting.
Well, you see that the bystanders there, whether or not there be family, friends, or people in the neighborhood, they certainly complicate the situation here when you're trying to obviously make sure that a baby is safe, take a suspect into custody, and then you're getting belligerent bystanders who are making it difficult for police because, you know, their focus and attention is focused on the car here, how to keep that situation safe, and yet behind them is where we're getting potentially some trouble from people who are bystanders.
And here's the situation. This was a very slow speed pursuit. It stayed in the same neighborhood, doing loops in the same neighborhood. A lot of people were on different corners watching this, trying to interact with the driver who was holding a child. So something was happening, likely domestic, and you could see another lady here very agitated about the situation. More people coming up, trying to calm her down. But you know, officers at some point, you know, will have to, you know, detain more people if they just don't, you know, stand back off. They're going to sort things out. The bottom line is the driver of that vehicle was not yielding. If that driver did not have, you know, anything to hide from police and was lawful, he or she would have pulled over. Now we think the driver may have been a female and could be the female who was taken into custody. Again, that's unclear. But bottom line, there was a child involved. The driver has been taken into custody. The child appears to be okay, and a lot of people have come to this intersection. Let's see where this is. We'll push in and get you a location here. This is in South LA. We're east of the 110 freeway, likely one of the numbered streets here.
We're hearing Avalon and 43rd. Yes.
Yeah, Avalon and 43rd. There you go. You can see now officers are taking a stance, which they do in situations like this, where a crowd gets a little bit heated. They're taking that linear stance here to make sure everybody just kind of stays back safely, drawing that line.
As you said, it appears to be some sort of a domestic situation, and in pursuits like this, or pursuits often, the person driving ends up in the neighborhood or in the area where either first started or that they know and that they are familiar with. So this looks like it potentially could be the case, because it does appear as if the people who came by as this all came to a stop and the person was arrested and the baby was taken out of the car, that these people know or are familiar with the situation going on here.
Yeah, and it appears, just from my experience, that it was likely some sort of domestic situation, because there are a number of people who came out and there was a child involved. So we'll try to ascertain exactly what happened. It looks like a couple of the women are running down the street now as well. But the scene, you know, essentially, this has come to an end. They're going to try to sort things out. Officers from the Los Angeles Police Department, they closed off some streets here, and they are going to make sure that you know, everything's safe here and calm, and keep everybody calm, and nobody gets out of hand, and they're doing just that. They're trying to calm everybody down. But it did look like at least one other person may have been detained, and it looks like they're going to put up some tape here, you know, setting the scene as somewhat of a crime scene here. And again, the child looked probably more in the range of 6 to 8 or 9 years old. Walked away on his or her own, and an officer quickly went up and escorted that juvenile. And now they're putting up police tape here, which is a little unusual at the end of just a standard pursuit. They wouldn't typically do that unless there perhaps is some sort of crime that needs to be investigated at this scene. Typically, we see them clear the scene once that suspect is taken into custody, and you'll even see sometimes officers get in the vehicle that was being pursued and move it out of lanes. Not the case chase here. They're closing this intersection.
So that makes sense here as they cordon off this. So we're hearing that this is a possible murder suspect investigation. And so all of this involved into a possible murder that happened yesterday, and somehow the person driving the vehicle is connected or possibly connected to all of this. And so this is why you have a very serious situation here with the police closing down the intersection.
And reportedly this started at 88th and Main. So now that they're putting up that crime scene tape and this information that we're getting, unconfirmed, but ties to a possible murder suspect, that all makes more sense now, especially because in just a moment ago, I saw, Rick, more LAPD units arriving on scene.
Yeah, there's quite a few here, and it looks like some detectives have arrived as well. So this is not your typical end of a pursuit scene, as you guys just reported here, as they were putting up that crime tape down below. So we know that driver was taken into custody. It was a relatively short, slow-speed pursuit, staying in the same neighborhood here. A child was inside the car. The child did not appear to be harmed. The driver was taken into custody and possibly a murder suspect, as you're saying.
All right, Rick, I think we are going to wrap it up.